We can see if this is hello people who aren't watching. Okay. So that looks good. Let me just professionalism. So what I wanted to do is I'm going through the WinUI C# templates that are currently configured within Windows Template Studio, although it's not called Windows Template Studio anymore, it's called Template Studio. So the templates were originally created ages ago, getting off nearly a year ago, when everything was still very new and speculative in terms of what WinUI would contain. They were developed in sort of secret. When I say secret, private. And I haven't really looked at them. I knew there were a bunch of issues. I knew there were issues that I was expecting to see because a lot of it was copied from the UWP stuff, and we want it to be a lot better. So what I'm going to do, what I've done, what I have here inside my Visual Studio, I have generated a project with each of the different types just to see what's in them, to go through, look at them, try and understand them. Is there anything that needs to be changed, improved, that sort of thing? And rather than just do it writing it, I thought I would talk through my experiences and my thoughts as I go to help me articulate it, also because it might be interesting for other people to sort of know what I was thinking if when I type these things up there are a lot less, and so we've got a bit of a reference. So that's the plan. This is the project, and over here I have I created an issue in my own repo a while ago just to sort of keep track of what was going on. So there were things which I know we're going to get rid of. I just realised I've opened this project in VS 2019. I probably want to do it in VS 2022. Let's do that first. Then we can get all the new languagey goodness. Let's just keep it as it is, and we'll look at what Visual Studio says in 2022 at another point. I made a note that it might be nice to move to NVM Toolkit 8. It's got loads of cool new stuff in it, but as that's preview, that's not going to happen until the future. And I'm also aware that historically, because of the way the UWP templates were done, that the code behind options were basically done just like MVVM, but you put all the MVVM code in the code behind file, and that's not how people do code behind, so it'd be good to do a better job of that, to reflect what people expect if you say, I'm using code behind, and then it's just everything's binding, because that's not. You kind of expect event handlers and referencing the UI stuff. So that's another thing. I know there were a couple of things in the code, having had a quick look at a few things that I will know are going to be issues and things I'm going to want to change. But for now, let's just, there we go. So this is the blank one, which we're not going to have anymore. That's going to go. Blank advance is going to become blank. So combining into the need to have the packaging project is going away. But let's just add it as a note for things to do on. Things that are going to have to change. The packaging one just has a package and a references. What the default images are, they probably should square strings. Oh, sorry. I was thinking, why aren't there other language options here as well? And the generated code doesn't include localized versions of everything. But it might be nice to be able to have an additional language as a reference. going forward, I'm going to suggest that. Let's make add option to wizard to include another language. Just to kind of nice to have. Hashtag. Okay, so we don't need any of those things. Sure, this is all fine. Why would there be any? Ooh. Okay. Okay. Add function. But that's kind of what I'm expecting to see in the package, and I'm guessing that all the other packages are like. Yeah, we'll just all the package projects are the same. Okay. Or because I generated this a while ago, and it's all really old. Something which we've always done in Template Studio with a release anyway, but it's probably sensible to record it as an action. Don't save whatever I did then. Go away. I'm sure we don't. Project. Let's look here. So properties, I'm just expecting. Ooh. Okay. I feel like a readme, but we should probably start. This. I'm just going to download them up. Oh, I'll have to restart Visual Studio. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Using WinUI 3. The readme. We need to know about Project Reunion anymore? No, I don't think so. Do we need to know what WinUI 3 is? Probably not. You are ready to build, deploy, launch your app hitting F. Right, start up. Let's assume it installed the right one. Well, run locally. Oh. Is it a breakpoint to unlaunched? Where is that? Step into the activation service methods to understand the life cycle. Look at the code to understand the code. I suspect this activation service is complicated than I would like, and therefore documentation might be good. Oh, brilliant, so we hit that. We're learning about this code by stepping in. Step over that. I'll step into this. Enemy, I'll step over something. Okay. I'm in a page service. Hang on, where did page service come from? I was trying to get an activation. Oh, okay. I'm stepping through the code to understand, to learn the code, to understand it. I was expecting an activation service. Where has this come from? Looking through code, something externally not launched. Get. Perhaps my activation service needs a page service. Let's just find out. Go to it. I was only one. Okay. And do you take a page service? No. Okay. I'm really confused now. Where did my page service come from? Oh, hang on. Where is? Page service. How did we get here? Oh, we got references. Okay. Navigation service takes a page service, and my activation service takes a navigation. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Need more documentation. I'm right. It's creating a page service. This seems. I had. What does configure do? This is, hang on, so this is odd. So why am I configuring all my navigation to pages and with view models separately? Why don't I set that up when I set up all my other dependencies? I guess there's kind of an argument for isolation. But like, I'm setting up my views and view models here. So what does my page service actually do? Just setting a reference to types. Why are we doing this? Why are we keeping a... Look at my navigation service. I get a key using the community toolkit in MVVM. This feels... Oh, this feels like something that the MVVM framework should be doing. Why? WinUI page service. Just no, it's in menu bar and it's in everywhere. Okay, that's doubly not so good. I am confused, concerned, uncertain. So the two contrasting thoughts going through my head. One is that this is going to be used by newbies, and so people with now lots of experience, people new to the platform, they want to learn how they should do it. And this code's saying, do it this way. My first thought is, really, why? What's going on? So that's not good from a newbie perspective. And from someone with more from the perspective of someone with more experience, we want this to be doing what they would expect, and what seems reasonable. And then from this respect, and in terms of this, I'm like, well, why is it doing like that? I'm assuming someone had a good reason, and that I don't know what it is. So even if we do need it, I don't like that. What was it? Set up. Oh, we'll be back to that, I'm sure. This configuration. That configuration should be. Right. Not going to resolve everything today, am I? Okay. We were stepping through the code to learn about activation services. We haven't even got to activation. Okay. Oh. Right, so you've configured all this. Step out of that. Okay, so now I've got my activation service. Oh, I stepped that too far. I don't know what. Oh. What did the original say? Step into it. Step through the code to understand the code. No, bad idea. Bad. Anyway, stepping through code. Got our activation service. What did we do? We activated something. Or is this in the background? Okay. Or it's just the blank. Right. I kind of uncertain now. Okay, so we've got we'll come back to this. No, sorry. So what I'm thinking is about this margin here down this side, and this margin here on this side. Didn't learn much about the activation, so did activate, just created the main window and activated, and then it did setting the themes. Okay. Okay, so if this is blank and it's got no navigation built in, why have we got a navigation service? So like the point of the blank option is you can do navigation the way you want. Blank. Why does it have a navigation service? If the idea is that you can create the UI and how you want, it doesn't have to be a menu bar, it doesn't have to be a navigation view sidebar, what's it called, hamburger menu type thing. purpose of this option to let the end developer, the developer who's using the tool with the generated, so using the generated code, that's what I thought. I suspect that the UWP stuff, which is the basis of everything, probably does this as well, but that's not a good reason for it to be here. Chances are we're never going to take it out of what UWP stuff is there, because it would be major pain rewrite path, which pay me for. Someone's going to ask loudly for. Give me a good reason to do. So but we want the WinUI stuff. This is a kind of a fresh start, so we want this to be as good as we can as soon as it's available. This is only available in preview, so this is all done off the previewed bits that I made this. Let's look at this. Still open. Well, that's what that's complaining about. Right. Incomplete. Action. What were we doing? Oh, the UI. I've still got it open. So the side menus on the side margins on this page. Bottom. We're going to talk a lot about margins. Let's forget about it for now. Okay. So we ran our code. This is what the README told us to do. Don't forget to review the developer to-dos. Why is it marked like that? With my editor hat on, I don't like the wording of this. Don't forget to review the task review. Where have you added for them? Do we assume it's here? How do we know which are the developer to-dos versus other to-dos? Well, it's kind of these ones with the WTS on. Anyway, right, let's understand this file structure. Oh. Right, so this said that this only applies to menu bar and split view. Okay, split view is an old internal ID on the navigation pane before there was a navigation pane control. Use a split view control, and it was called split view. And for historical reasons, that's why it's still there. because the WinUI stuff is a complete restarting, why does it even need to use old code names which don't make as much sense anymore? No, be gone. Help. I need more exclamation marks. Don't mention the shell page when there isn't one. It makes me wonder now what's in the code behind stuff. It was all going to be relevant. Oh, okay. Let's forget about that. Forget about it. So we've got this file structure. This is the core thing. Our interfaces are in a folder called contract. Why contract? Why not just call it interfaces? I have a sneaky suspicion this is copied from some. I have a feeling there's what this is going to throw up. Oh no. Oh, that's oh, it's not then. At least go into the docs. Why are the interfaces called contracts? Let's come back to. Let's just see what the internet says when we say C# contracts. Ooh. So I've not seen the use of these contract folders before. We don't do it in UWP stuff. I don't think it's in WPF. Let's look. Because if it was in the WPF, that would give it some of use, for example. See all the results. No, it's not in. Okay, so it's come from the WPF. Probably because that has the DI stuff in it as well. Right. Maybe it's a precedent WPF. That's the case. Navigation aware and navigation service. That's interesting. It's used in the view models and it's used in the navigation service. Let's look at our navigation service. How's this cool on view model? But again, this is in blank. So it kind of really doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel appropriate to be here. When I say blank, look in the code. Far too much. It's the book. This project type provides border scaffolding. Ugh. Okay, I don't like this. Oh yeah, I guess you kind of need to show the home page somehow. Basic does blank need to be? That's my question. So at the moment, it really feels like it's everything just without the UI bits. And maybe you do want that. Bring in your chosen framework. We said we want to use this MVVM toolkit. That's because that's the only one that's there. There isn't a code behind. You kind of want the infrastructure as well. If you were like totally, no, just give me nothing, and I'll do it myself. Just want nothing, then you wouldn't even be here in the first place. This is probably just me really overthinking it, but overthinking things is kind of what I'm good at and what I'm here for. I'm pretty sure those, or is that just um no navigation change it. Then the UI okay. That, that. Let's go back to the README. What was below this? This app uses MVVM Toolkit. Project type. Oh, let's go and look at this is very disturbing. Green, not our test to do that. That shouldn't have got out. That's concerning. Anyway, let's look at what blank advanced does say. Where have I got it? Doubly broken. That's just the same thing. That's no. That's annoying me now. Annoyed. I want more information. Blank. Is the packaging project? Well, that's going to go away. Additional documentation is a bit generic. This is better than nothing. Okay, so we've looked at the README where we get started. Didn't quite make it through activation handlers. I guess it was an activation service. Takes activation handlers. Yeah, no, somewhere. So why isn't, look, we have an interface. It wasn't in the contract. We got is just the generic base. This is break as well. Oh no. Okay. Don't know what that means. I have a handler for the different types of ways the app can be activated. I kind of know a bit of this, so I want to make sure that this is understandable for, well, I'd have to go away and look up a load of stuff, trying to remember things. I need to add another need at least one more, because it just feels like masses of overkill at the moment without understanding what the intention is, and I'm guessing all that's come from the UWP history. Okay, so that's enough of activation. Helpers. I guess you could do it that way. Oh, look. Got all sorts of. So we've got a converter in our helpers. Every project I've seen puts converters in a folder called converters. Extensions sometimes go in helpers, sometimes go in extensions. When there's very little, it kind of feels okay just to lump all this stuff together. On a bigger project, is this what you want? Sure that the loads of this. What and I'm wondering what language, what version of the language we're using. It's going to be the default, isn't it? Oh, hang on. Property. Oh no. I wonder what the default language is. Targeting 5. I think this is already well documented elsewhere and stuff. Complete. is dash would be used. Loads of things to do. Okay. We know even in 2019, Visual Studio wants us to do better. Or is the latest good bits. Okay. Oh, hang on. Why don't we? So this is going to be a bit more. Help us. This has actually got a thing called helper in it. I wonder if other people have strong feelings about it, and if they do, we should ask them. I'm gonna skip over the navigation service because there's not a lot to it here. I think it's going to be more involved in the other project types, the menu bar and the nav pane. Theme selector service. Why? So why is this an app background requested theme for the settings key? Yeah, this says is that background, but it's just the general theme for the everything. So I just call it. Not just the background. Where that name came. Web view service? Web view service? Why? This. Why is this here? What is going on here? Okay, what is this about? I think we need to look at this web page. Come on. Honest governor, I did close down everything I thought I would need. What? Cool. Looking at everything. Don't know, because by the time you get Task Manager up, everything's back. Okay, we've just got a web view and panels on top of each other. Oh, so this is just a. Oh, okay. So this is. including content. Need that. We don't need the binding on these active, we just have it always active, because when it's not visible, it won't go away and running in the back. Always like a nice simple thermal. Buttons don't have an accessibility consideration. That's like to the side. Cant Spell. But anyway, I was interested in the service, WebView service. Got our view model. Which has a WebView service. I wonder how that's changed in the last 9 months. Oh. Right. Mission, not for now. Can we have a more interesting default web page? Yes, yes we can. Yes we should. That might be more fun. Okay. Hey. Okay, so we've got commands for the buttons. For the bottom and the retry. Aren't these going to do exactly the same? Yes, but this loading is true by default. I think they could be combined. But it probably doesn't harm anything that they aren't. Okay, open browser. So historically, in the wonderful world of Windows development, launchers can sometimes fail. It would be good why there are not even any auto-generated docs. The one thing I want. So the first thing, this could fail. I'm assuming that if this returned false, look at docs, docs, Windows. Yeah, thank you. Result. Data, what way? Just doing a URI. Oh. Yeah, launch URI sync, pass it. URI. Returns. So it could return false. You might want to do something about that. Unless you are calling SAP file. Okay, yeah. What happens if you try though? I'm sure docs in the past were really good at telling you possible exceptions. Um, right. We need to think about this. And iteration for failing. I can't spell. Right. So that might something we might need to consider. As I would totally expect, there were definitely scenarios where that could just blow up and then crash the app because we're in an unhandled async. Yeah, that's just gonna crash. If that fails, it's going to crash the app. Don't crash the app. So we got as far as the web service strings. Oh, I made a note earlier about. Oh, hang on. So before we looked at the strings for the packaging project. Ah. Ah. Okay, so this. Do you have in the resource file? What I need is my extension that shows the resources for demo. Okay. But what the thing that caught, that's a duplicate package app description. Will get merged when we have a one project. Why? Settings and settings. Aha, right, resources. Two things I want to say. And settings page. We've got more pages out there, haven't we? How many pages have we got? List. Yeah, like the list. List. Yeah, list detail doesn't have a. All entries. The comment. That is useful and consistent. Thank you. That not so good. The others sort of tolerable. Just weird. We will come back to styles. We look at pages one at a time. Tell you what. Let's just look at the menu bar. Enough of the blank now. How long have we been going for? An hour? I thought this was going to take a really long time, which is why I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. That's not good. Get rid of because we want to read, don't we? Now let's try. Wouldn't it be good when this goes away? Promising. Hooray! Okay. So let's look at the view. First off. Why have I got no hotkeys on my menu bar? Now I should bring up hotkeys, shouldn't it? Oh, okay, yeah, I thought just close it. Again. Well, that starts up. Yeah. Settings is fly out. Oh, that spacing looks weird. Buttons look weird. Maybe that's my eye. Looks like wrong and backwards. I've seen light and dark to indicate different. Let's just make a note. Review the left settings page layout and spacing. Yeah. Note to self, that was. What we were looking for was, does the shell page come? Oh, so opening the examiner. Well, here's WinUI. I suppose we have to make comments about the fact that no. Trying not to get triggered by some of the things I'm seeing. Oh. Yeah, this needs hotkeys. So, menu bar. What? Hang on, is this going to bite me again? Are these set in the resource? No. Okay. Don't know if we got almost like this hasn't been through an accessibility review, and it has. That will be why. This okay. So let's look at these views. Web view. We sort of looked at this already. That's our loading inner. That's a good general point. Buttons have maybe that's just a feature of the button. Okay. We're done with web view. Let's look at list details, content grid, data grid. So here's our list. What I want to do is update all the dates in the sample data. Because I suspect lots of people using this weren't actually even born when these orders allegedly came in. Oh, look, weird as margins going on here. I put my thumb on it, which you can't see. But that list details is in line with the file. Is that? Yeah, okay, so the arrow is in line. But that big old margin. That big old margin looks well too big. I guess because it's the same margin as that's there. And that was bigger than the other margins we've seen elsewhere. If we just get to the main, let's put it into light. I can see more. I can't really see that shaded colour. We've got this margin here. I'm going to put my thumb on the screen so I can see. But now this is a really big margin, and that's sort of half the size margin. And that's even bigger. So we've got like 3 different margin sizes just for that left edge. Size for one. What's this list details heading thing? That seems a weird. Oh, is that the page name? Yeah, that seems weird. Right, so first off, so we've got main list and it's wrong. Again, this is like this UX stuff going on here. I don't like it. Because like the company name is more important than the company title. And if it's just a date formatted as a date time, I suspect that status is kind of important. So I kind of want a better job of that. Hang on, so list details, page title, inconsistent. I'm trying to guess. Let's just have a quick look at there. It's here, we don't even get one. Data grid. Oh, hang on. Data. I know that this data just came from me randomly arbitrary. Oh, I thought we had more data than this. Anyway, what is this? Oh, without back, I can't really tell. So we're just looking at the list details. It's fine, content details. Might style it a bit differently if it was me, but there's our little animation bit. back button always in the same place? No. Okay. Whoa. Back button is in content grid, is it? There's that content grid detail page really doesn't like being. Oh, hang on. Just. Oh. Yeah, so that's. Something. I have to go through them all. I got the video, it didn't resize properly. Is it a list view? The pages are different. Hmm. I'm just going to put that resizing down to platform issue and not something I'm doing. And let's look at the data grid. This is nice and simple. Left margin, sorry, that right margin. Disappears at very narrow. Hang on, so review. Grid. Where very narrow. Hello, Blitz Beast, I want to say. Oh look, I get spam. Must be doing something right. Okay, so we've looked at the code running. Go away, come back to look at styles when we get to the other one. Why don't we put project config in the proj file? Grab them. As we can. Go away. I just like not have that there to make things tidier. What's in? I don't understand what that's trying to tell me. And Windows 10 anniversary update is the minimum supported. to a combo date. Okay, so that's actually a way. Let's have a look through. So main view model page. Let's look at things. Kind of, we're going to get that because we can. Oh. Don't want, because like, I'm sure it's going to tell me that. Oh, it wants to prefer me to have. Just change back and forth and make a decision. What have we been in shell view model? You can show pages in different ways. I don't know. Oh, okay. Navigation service and a right pane service. We look at the right pane service. Frame. Okay, so it's a split view, reversed. So on the right rather than standard left. Oh, it's not on the shell. Try and look at that. And then it's got this. Oh, should look at the contrast. Open it. Oh, clean. Oh. Frame. Oh, okay, so this doesn't have any kind of history. Don't know. We just if we navigate, you get the backslash. Okay, so should be good for memory. I wonder if we've got anything check-in to make sure that everything is unsubscribed as it should be. So we don't have lots of things left lying around. That was our white page. Let's look at the shell page. Pane. Oh, okay. This is unexpected. Oh, I guess. So my thought is, why have a frame? Why not just put the settings page in there? But that means it's going to forcibly create the settings page when you hit the shell page. Plus, we want to be able to open other things in the frame. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Um, oh, I'll work around for you. As we're here, let's see if this address. I just clicked on it, couldn't I? Opens. I'm guessing that issue still stands. It's like a year old. Wasn't solved in November. Okay, right, fine. I guess we still need warning shell frame. I'm gonna call that a flyout frame. But yeah, me being fussy. Um, what else? What else? It's just supposed to be like my formal review of this code, and I'm like being very very inconsistent. What have we looked at the theme selector service? Got that horrible. We were looking. Let's just start at the top. I'll come down. Core project. Sample data service. Very. I remember. And like, well, there's not a lot here. There's part of me that's torn between like, do I want to be really critical of this code when I might have written it originally? But also it's like, well, there's not a lot here. Do I need to say something for the sake of saying something? Like things like that. I look at that. And I'm like, go back should do that internally. A navigation service. Alright, services, navigation service. Go back. Should you internally call can go back? Yes. Yes, sir. Don't need that. So don't call. Going too long now. Go. Go back. Yeah, things I do better. Kind of feels like it needs some error handling. Yeah, because it's burst, so that has the potential to blow up. Okay, yeah, no, let's make this better. Should include error handling if doing a lookup on parameter. virtual thing. Why do you need? Why do you both? Because you go back. You haven't got the pair. Okay. Oh, in days past, it used to say to do replace this with your actual data, but you ended up potentially having loads and loads of little task lists which all said to do replace this with your actual data. Kind of feels like this needs to do in it. Oh, okay, right on top. Hard sample data, it's going to get used in a whole bunch of places. Hang on, to review. It's a comment to be deleted which doesn't say, hey, you're going to need to delete this. It doesn't really add a lot of value because the instructions to delete stuff are elsewhere and that will have a ripple effect down. So that comment doesn't add anything, so it doesn't need to be there. Again, more generic error handling is there's very little error handling in models. I'll navigate from. That come from? Yeah. Let's look at all the on the. I suspect none of them. That's cool. Let's do it this way. Oh, okay, so this is. Oh, so it's. Oh. Only the web view which uses the unnavigated from. I'm navigation aware. So I don't like having that every. Add one word here and get rid of 5 lines. 4 lines. Maybe. Oh, okay. Data grid view model. Can I about more default error handling. kind of feel it should be there, especially if this is supposed to be good example code. What if that fails? For each line, listed boards. This kind of feels like it needs some explanation. There are items selected. Oh. Needs a comment explaining its purpose. Let's go purpose. Okay. Ooh, I don't like that. It's all over the place. Just for app display name. Okay. I've been working with ResX lately. I get about it if you come back to that. So, hang on, let's make a note. Sure, I've looked at this in the past. You don't remember. I think it's just inconsistent. What are all these nulls and trues getting past to navigate to? Okay. What one is clear? I want that. Not passing a null when we don't need to, and we're explaining what this true thing is. Much more readable, lovely. That'd be good. Web view we've already looked at. Oh, let's look at the core. Sample data, another remove message we need. Oh, I remember seeing this before. So we can make the a bit simpler. Why are these things async? It's wrapping something that's not async as an async. I don't know why you. Is it for this? Why? Yes. Take a string, turn it into JSON, which is done synchronously. Why tend to make it async? Um, there's a happy to be wrong, but it just seems like there's unnecessary asynchronous goodies happening. Right, models, samples, remove. Yeah. And the class value, but it's sample data. Why do you gotta read me? This is a cool project. Cool project is a .NET standard project. Are you? I want to note about But it loads. Just want to make sure it was saved. There we go. That's our core thing. So I wanted navigation pane. Things I wanted to have a look at. Why are there these? Okay. Oh, look, unused navigations. Hmm. I don't like that there are those two things. I think that is a result of having the iNavigation service be something we use everywhere. Doesn't need. Right, I need a quick break. Excellent. Did you miss me? Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay, right. Oh, right, the magic. Right, just. I, mm, I just find this too confusing. That's it, basically. Let's special things for settings. Okay. And understand. Oh, not yet. Where are these things used? It's past it. Okay. Operating on the control. Um, hmm. Takes navigation. Oh, the shell. Shell page was doing something with both of them, wasn't it? Yeah, it holds references to both. Because this is tracking the unnavigated. Because it's. Oh, it does just feel like a bit of a kludge. Because in this navigation pane project, it's all kind of one and the same, and we've got this artificial separation. I presume that the navigation service templates can get reused for projects. And the reality is, the navigation pane gets used most. So the most common scenario is made more complicated. I want to say unnecessarily, is made more complicated to allow for the edge cases. And I think what can happen is, I don't know if I can justify it. Because it's not a lot of work. It's not a lot of change. This means rather than be navigation service everywhere, we have one which gets elsewhere for the navigation pane. Put that functionality to the navigation view service. In the navigation view, it already has. Actually, the navigation view service could just expose the navigation service, and then that would simplify this. That's a nicer, simpler workaround, isn't it? The shell view model doesn't need get What we could do. Already have it. That's a small change, and it just feels so much simpler because I've got one concept I need to think about. I could still reuse those navigation service templates from there. Oh, I think this needs a proper write-up to say, don't do that, do this. I don't make masses more work. Build it and see what happens. It doesn't make tons more work, but it just feels so much simpler. Oh, I'm using things. I did it to the yeah, I want to come back and do a better version of that. Maybe when we've got the single project. What is it providing? Show view. Oh, I like that. Well, that was going to be a horrible major pain. Yes, brilliant. Right. Close all tabs. I think we've looked through everything now, apart from the style. So, styles. Kind of want to wait a few seconds to brace myself. I don't know where to begin. Where was quite a complex page? Actually, we'll try opening the second page on the main page, see what happens. Take a little while doing that up. Reasons, unexplainable reasons. Right, oh okay, settings page does thing I want. My own event. So what we have here is a very, very, in my mind, bad anti-pattern. Oh, look, we even get it in the main page. Okay. And it is an anti-pattern relating to the naming of XAML styles. Let me show you why this is bad. Okay, so we have a style called medium left-right margin. Okay, probably doesn't sound. Oh no. Goes to definition. Oh. Struggling with it now. Or is it because it's opening another XAML file? I don't remember it ever being bad before. What I've Yes, so we're in the thickness. Okay, so I don't remember which one it was. Medium left right margin. It's this thing. Okay, so first off, why is it defined like that? Why have you made it so long? Same thing. Let's start making some notes. Um, uh, syntaxes were appropriate. Everyone complains XAML's verbose, and it can be. Medium-sized margin. Let's undo because so medium left-right margin. What does this mean? Oh, it means there's a medium-sized left and right margin, probably. Okay. How do we know that's what we want to put on our content area? Especially if we ignore that. This is like nothing to this page, and there's loads of things that wind me up. I'm going to try and open the page now. I want to understand what. I want to understand why it's defined explicitly. Why we've got. All it does is set the background. Let's just double check. Do it in this project. Guessing like every page. It's just wasteful. Unnecessary code. Not making use of the language, and it's wasting my time. I'm annoyed. So annoyed by these silly voices. That's not what it represents. That's what it's being. I think that's the default template. Comment. I don't like that either. Do that. Formatted. Lots of things to get upset. Anyway, sorry, we were looking at this left, right, medium, left, right margin. I think I've got all the side tracks out of my system. It's named when it doesn't need to be named. I've mentioned that now, I think we'll leave it just to make it clear. Could do that with one grid, not two. Same thing. I'll just put a padding on that, or a margin on this one. Just saddens me that people don't do them all better. Okay, but we're gonna. So this is what I'm trying to say. We're gonna do them all better. So this medium left right margin. So we have a margin which is of medium size on the left and the right. Okay, great. So how do we know that we want to put this in our content area? What tells us where we should use this thing? Nothing. Nothing. It's a really bad name. It describes what the thing is. It doesn't tell us where or how it should be used. That's my big objection. So we've got this thing called medium left right margin. Okay. So imagine the situation where we decided that on our main page, I haven't got it running, but we saw it earlier. It just says main page and has a grey, actually a system control page background chrome low brush color on some of it and a bit of padding on the either side. What if we decided we wanted to have more padding on, say, one on the left side but not on the right side, and we wanted to add some padding on the bottom? Okay. What we need now is we need a brush with a thickness. So following this pattern, so we need. What do we? So we want to say large left, medium right, and let's say a small bottom. Hang on, we got weird, all sorts of things going. So large is 36, okay. Medium is 24. What's this? 12 for small? Okay, all right. So now we've got this. We've got a brush which does what we want, and we've used the convention we've been told to use because apparently this is best practice, but it's absolutely not. This is not something you should ever do. This is just hideous, and hopefully you'll see why in a minute. So now we've got our style, which is the even Visual. I think Visual Studio is upset because it knows how bad this is. We've got our margin we want. Now we can come to our page and we can put it in. Oh, but maybe we don't want it just on this page. We need it on all our pages. So now we've got to go everywhere and change all the things. Would that kind of, if we've got to go and change everywhere, kind of defeat the purpose of having this reusable thing? Okay. Or so maybe we say, well, we don't want to go and have to change it everywhere. Why don't we just change the name of the resource? Okay, so we know that needs to be 36.0.24.12. We could just change our resource, which... Oh yeah, so now we get the output we want. Oh, this is so annoying. We get the output we want, and we only had to change one thing, which is, what we want. That's like a goal of having these reusable styles. But now our name doesn't match the actual value internally. It's really potentially misleading. And it also might reflect that the medium left-right margin could be used in other places. It might not just be used at a top-level grid on a page. So, rather than have this thing, why don't we use a name that is descriptive of what the thing is and where it should be used? If we had a standard page content margin, because this is what this thing is supposed to... It's my extension. Making it go slow. Oh dear. I am a bad boy. If instead we have this, it's really clear what it's for. We know we're using the right thing. If I go and put this on some other random button somewhere, well, I know I'm misusing that. It should be really clear. It should get flagged up, but anyone should spot that really quickly. But also, if we need to change it, I can just change the definition. I don't need to also change the the name everywhere. So that's being slow and horrible. What I'm going to do? Let's just open and the Visual Studio instance. Still 2019. Okay, so I think it's kind of comparable. I would just want oh, let's do a framework because I don't want the high top level project thing. Doesn't really matter what it is. So let's say I just had some program and it was doing stuff with money, doing stuff with sales, not just money, let's call it sales. Let's say I've got now and that's going to be like some amount of money. Okay, and now what I need to do is I need to add some tax to it. And let's say that my tax is 20%. Okay. So we're going to have a some doubles, I can't remember. Let's work with doubles. So let's just say initial price. And then we're going to have our to pay now, which is going to be our tax. Uh, 20%. Okay. We could call this add percent. Squeak will go away. That's fine. You know, we've got our code. We're adding 20%. We're doing exactly what the code says. You know, our name represents what the code does. Okay. So this is like that horrible top, bottom, medium, left, right margin thing. So this is saying put a margin on the right and margin on the left, and it should be medium size, whatever medium size is. Okay. And then we decide that, and that sort of works until we need to change something, or we need to know where we should be using this add 20%. So now imagine in our financial world, tax level changes, or there's a scenario where we need a different tax level. And for some people, we need to pay tax to be 30%. Okay. So now we've created our add 30%, which was my weird, horribly long name margin equivalent. And now we need to come everywhere where we were calling add 20%, we need to now say add 30%. Well, how do we know which of the add 20% calls we need to replace with the add 30% ones? And that was my copying it around and being a pain. Now it might be that we know that add 20% in our heads just means add the tax, and it might be that we go, well, we don't want to go and create a new method and call that new method everywhere. We just want to be adding 30%. So we could just change the code in our add 20% method, and have that with a new value. But obviously what the code is doing doesn't match the name of the method. So this is like if I went and put different values in here. See? So it says it's medium left function, but it's actually large left, medium right, small bottom, or whatever it was called. And so that's just going to be really confusing for people. If you're the only person working with your code base and you would totally understand that and you're never going to forget that, I don't know how you prove that, but you're never going to forget that, then you could do that. You could. It'd be a really bad thing to do, so don't, but you could. Okay, so now we've got this thing, and maybe I'm somewhere else in the code, and I go, oh, I need to add 20% to something. I'll just call this add 20%, and then I get really confused when it starts adding 30%. So that would be a really, really bad thing. Instead, we need to use a name that represents what this thing does, so we know when we should call it. So if we just say add tax, we just called this thing add tax in the first place, we wouldn't have needed to go and add one of them. And whenever tax changes, for whatever reason, it's subject to other rules about working with money in systems and tax changing at different times and for different scenarios. Forget all that. But if tax changes, I just need to come here in one place, change one value, and I don't need to change all the other code elsewhere. I don't need to worry about people calling an add 20% method when they want to add 20%, but it's not about tax. I just get a simple method, clear what it's for, and where it should be used. And that is why I want to have styles with names like standard page content margin, because, well, I know where I should be using this, and if I change this, I know that everywhere that there's a standard page content margin is going to get updated. I don't need to worry about, or I shouldn't need to worry about, it having adverse effects because that margin is being used for other purposes as well. If I go around and start putting a style called standard page content margin on things which aren't a page and aren't a standard page, then on my own head be it, for when things start breaking, I'm going to have a problem. But this is what I want to change. I want to get rid of all of them because they are bad, bad, bad things. Now, detail page margin. Detail page margin. I have multiple detail pages, I believe. So I might let this live. Oh look, this says it's the list detail size margin. Okay. Aha. are really broken visual. Not how I want to be spending my day waiting. Right, in the current project. Yes. We've got something at an app level, a resource at an app level, that's only used in one place. No. Right. I want to look at this content. Oh, that's the. Oh. Right, brace yourselves. Oh. I'm going to try and open another XAML file. But this is a detail page, and it just has a standard page style on it. I guess it's for models and controls, but doesn't use. It has hard-coded text. But it's a sample, so it's kind of allowed, isn't it? So no, that should go as well. We should either have a detail page margin which gets used everywhere, all the detail pages, or that definition should go in the list details. Well, because we know it's only used on that controller, it's not even used on there yet. So no, wrong, bad margins, bad thicknesses. And I totally expect that the naming of all these other styles is going to be heavily affected. Yeah, that yellow bar was the saving issue. We have large font size and medium font size. Medium font size is only used in one place. Get all these style files open. Really hope VS22 does a better job with the project. Oh, our body text is of medium size. Well, that seems like it has lots of potential for confusion. Because there is only large and medium. Is medium the same as default, standard, normal? Again, we've got things defined at an app level. Oh look, here we've got font sizes defined explicitly with different values. So we're going to get really, well, kind of saw that with the list view page anyway. There's a title which is smaller than standard text elsewhere. Yeah, so medium, just our generic body text is 16. And then we've got a list title which is smaller than the standard text. No wonder it looked they're out of place. This is even ignoring just the naming of stuff. Why would we wrap and trim? Doesn't make sense. The weight of a base text box style normal anyway. Oh, it does. Hey. Oh. The base text box style is semi-bold. Oh. Crap. One. Oh. That's locked up. Right, well, right. Um, don't define defaults. Use sensible. Not tense. What else was I complaining about? Can't change. Um, don't use generic names. On didn't make a word. Um, is that the word? I think so. not basing. So it's just styles in general. Just all the styles need fixing. Use the ability there. Use the style. Just use them where it makes sense. Don't have stupidly badly named styles. Don't define values that just defaults you. Have some. Let's sort out this text blocks. Can't even get to it. So that not unnecessary repetition of things. Don't define the app level stuff where it's only used on a page. Don't use generic when they're not used generically. When they should be used generically. That would make a lot more sense. Don't have an inconsistent type size ramp, like our title was smaller than our body text elsewhere. We had those hard-coded values in our we had a font sizes file, which had 2 values in it. We had a whole bunch of other sizes defined in the text block. Wow, just so lots and lots wrong. And at 2.5 hours, it did take a long time. But I think that's definitely a lot to be getting on with. Okay. Well done. Oh, well done, people who stuck it out for at least part of this. But I think that is me done. I need to lie down, I think, after that. So this will get turned into improvements for the Template Studio WinUI project and code. There's a lot more work there than I was expecting. I thought I was just going to pick up a few things, but there's just like so much really needs addressing, and this is the best time to address it before we start pushing these out. If you want to have comment on this, add it to this issue or on the Microsoft Template Studio repo, and I will publish this and make this stream recording available. That's the plan. And I need to go back to actually making Template Studio work in Visual Studio 2022 because that's not there yet, and then we'll be able to start pushing these changes and improvements in. If you have thoughts, comments about some of the things where I said it'd be good to get more feedback on, obviously share that wherever. What'll be good. And then, yeah, done. Goodbye.